Hey everyone, today we are running Esper Legends, but not any ordinary Esper Legends list. This rather aggressive version of the deck recently placed in the top 8 in the Champions Cup Cycle 2 in Japan, and you know, if this is doing well in Japan, chances are it's a pretty damn good deck, and will probably translate over to best of 1 quite nicely. Starting off with the early game, Skrelv, the mother of runes of this format, is just too good to not put in this deck. Thalia is really good against the cheap removal spells, your cut downs, your play with fires, your go for the throats and your lightning strikes all are taxed, and taking up an opponent's entire turn to deal with this is pretty strong. Dennick is also really strong in this format. The lifelink means we can put ourselves out of burn range, and the 3 toughness makes him really good against aggressive decks. Adeline puts bodies on the battlefield and helps us go wide. And having more attackers on the field is really good for, the staple of the deck, Raffine Scheming Seer. Since we'll be conniving a lot, it also makes sense that we run Toluz, but we run 3 copies as opposed to the traditional 1 or 2, because we will be doing a fair bit of discarding, because we also run 2 copies of the Raven Man. Discarding cards to the Raven Man means that we'll be making 1/1 bird tokens that will be attacking a lot, and making these 1/1 bird tokens that attack a lot also drives our connive, which means we'll be discarding more cards to put under Toluz, which means we'll be making more copies of birds with the Raven Man. Helping this cycle, we also run 1 Unctus, but outside of his loot ability and the fact it's a nice 2/4 body to put down, we won't be using him much. There's a reason there's only 1 copy of him in the deck. Because we are drawing so many cards, it makes sense that we run some Sheoldreds, but we also run some Ertai Resurrected to counter spells and destroy stuff. We don't want to run too many non-creature spells in the deck. In fact, we only run 2 in the form of Go for the Throat. At the top of the curve, we've got Out of the Dawn Sky, really good against cards like Depopulate. And finally, in the lands, because we run so many legends, it makes sense to run multiple copies of Eiganjo and Otawara. Now, bear in mind that these get cheaper the more legendary creatures you have out. But with Skrelv in the format, remember that Eiganjo and Otawara are colourless. So Skrelv can't actually protect against this. Really important distinction, and you will probably trip up your opponent at least once. That's the deck, let's get into the games. Okay, opponent going first. We will keep this hand. We can go Skrelv into Dennick. Monstrous Swiss Bit, okay. Boom, 1. We do have a turn 1 play, so I can go Plaza of Heroes, Skrelv. Now, normally I'd like to go turn 2 Dennick, but Thalia's just too good to not play here. Down to 17. Okay, we can do a couple of things. We could go with the Darkslick Shores and play Thalia. We can play Darkslick Shores and play Dennick. On this occasion, I will play out the Thalia. And I'm not actually going to attack with Skrelv here. I want to keep Skrelv up so that we can protect our Thalia, not him. We don't want to protect him. He can't protect himself anyway. Squee Dubious Monarch coming down. See what our opponent wants to do here. Doesn't want to do anything interesting. There's a Seachrome Coast. Looks like we will be playing this Dennick. And we won't attack and we'll end the turn. Now, Otawara now only costs 1 blue. There's a Phoenix Chick coming down. Surely they're going to do more than just Phoenix Chick, right? No, they're not. Because they need multiple removal spells in order to deal with this Thalia. And each removal spell costs a minimum of 2. They only have 3 lands out. Life's pretty good. Life's pretty good. Is there a better feeling in Magic right now than opening your video with a win against Mono Red on the draw? I don't think there is. We'll keep this hand. We've got Dennick into Adeline. I'll play the Darkslick Shores on 1. I don't want to completely give away what we've got. Looks like we are up against Esper. See what we want to do. Looks like our opponent's not doing anything. Okay, Lily. This might be the brunch crew list that I've heard so much about. There's a Thalia. We can play this. We can play this Plaza of Heroes. See what we've got. We can play the Sheoldred next turn. They're thinking about lots of things. There's wedding announcement. Okay. Opponent thinking about what to discard here. I will probably discard this Shattered Sanctum. It's not really doing anything for me. Alright, there's a Seachrome Coast that would come into play tapped. Not really something that I'm such a massive fan of. I will play yet another Plaza. I'll play out the Sheoldred. Force my opponent to chump block the chump block Adeline, but the good news is that with the 1/1 token, Liliana can't make me sacrifice a creature. Okay, there's a Raffine. Yeah, I'll play this out now. I can't really do anything about a farewell, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to choose the token. Everything's going to attack. Got to discard 4 cards. Raffine for sure. Next turn, I could probably play the Owl if my opponent plays something like Depopulate. I'll get rid of Ertai Resurrected, and yeah, we'll do it this way. Gain a bunch of life, put our opponent on 40. Put us on 30, can't even count. Yeah, them on 12, down to 10. Oh boy, that says I've got Wandering Emperor. That does say I've got Wandering Emperor. So what if I play the Thalia and then attack with everything? Okay. All attack. Our opponent. Spread the love, but we'll put everything on the Raffine. We will discard Sheoldred, Adeline, and how many more? I need to discard 3 more cards. Like that. Put us up to 44. Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire. Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't have any way of protecting it with the Plaza of Heroes. Opponent down to 4. We will end the turn. Opponent down to 2. Record of Bankbuster. I don't know what they're looking for at this point. Looking to kill themselves. Alright, 2 for 2. What an excellent start to today. Alright, going first, we will keep this. The turn 1... The lack of turn 1, turn 2 play really is slightly unfortunate, but I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I'll just play the Raffine's Tower tapped and pass the turn. There is the option where you can go Eiganjo, but I'm not really interested in that. Let's force our opponent to deal with our Thalia. They cannot. Okay, Darkslick Shores, that's a really nice pickup. We'll play the Raffine. And of course, we will do this. I will discard the... At this point, I don't know if Skrelv's really good for us. I will discard the Thalia, however. I think that's just a better choice. Wow, opponent. Tenacious Underdog. Yeah, sure. I'll play the Plaza of Heroes. I will attack with everything. Discard the Skrelv and the... I don't really need Shattered Sanctum at this point. I could discard the Dennick. What's the chances of me... Yeah, I think Dennick is correct, because I'm going to just use Ertai Resurrected. Next turn. Opponent down to 14. What could they have? Sheoldred? Yeah, no. Counter target spell. No blocks. Down to 17. Think I might have lethal. Yeah, that was a very strange block. So if I do this correctly, 9, 12, I can play Sheoldred. Yeah, that's 14 damage. That is lethal. On the assumption that I am able to discard 2 cards with Raffine, which I definitely could with Adeline. I wish I could see what the top 3 cards were. Yeah, I definitely have lethal there. Going first, the only problem here is that we are kind of reliant on a 3rd land, but we run quite a few, guys. We do run 27 of them, so I'm going to keep this. I have 2 chances of drawing a 3rd land. There it is. I will just play the 2nd Plaza. Turn 3, I can play Raffine. Zitora and... okay. I'll attack. I will have to do this. Discard. Down to 17. And because I discarded, there is a 1/1 black bird token. Hooray! Glisser, huh? I could just go for the throat that, right? Yeah, gone. We'll choose Raffine. We'll discard 3. Dennick. I don't think I'm playing Toluz this game. And... yeah. Opponent very quickly figuring out that I am just going to be able to do so much. Oh boy, this deck is doing work. Opponent goes first. The first real, oh, I don't know, hand, we'll keep it. If our opponent gets off to a very fast start, which that isn't, then we could be in trouble. We can still be in trouble. But definitely playing Raffine's Tower on 1. Reckon a Bankbuster, okay? We'll play out the Skrelv. And the Seachrome Coast. Looks like we are up against Grixis. Corpse Appraiser. In for 4, down to 16. There's Raffine. I am not going to do any weird stuff right now. Sheoldred, to the surprise of absolutely no one. They are going to crew the Bankbuster again. Going to attack. Yeah, of course they are. No blocks. Down to 12. This is actually a very aggressive start from our opponent. Yeah. I will go for the throat this Sheoldred. Thank you very much. We'll draw. Darkslick Shores. I don't actually have a play here. I will attack with the Raffine. I'll discard the backup Raffine. I will probably go down to a very low amount. This very slow start has not helped us. Next turn, I'll play the Plaza and whip down Owl the Dawn Sky. They're thinking of Invoke Despair. Invoke Despair is 100% the correct play here. I'll go down to 8. They will then attack with Reckoner Bankbuster, putting me on 4. Sheoldred. Sure. I mean, the backup Sheoldred's very nice. Down to 5. Yep, my turn. I guess I am drawing. Resolve. I don't think I can win. I play Owl. They just... Yeah, I don't think I can win, but I'm going to play down Owl. No attacks. End turn. I should have just attacked with Skrelv, actually. I should have seen if I could find something. But I can't, actually, because then Sheoldred would do things. Yeah, there's Invoke Despair. GG. Yeah, keeping that hand was a mistake. It didn't do anything for the first 3 turns, and all the first 2 turns, and when I'm playing an aggressive build like this, that's just... It's not good. Okay, let's see if we can bounce back. This is a perfectly fine hand to keep. Looks like it will be Raffine's Tower into Darkslick Shores with Thalia, and then Shattered Sanctum with Owl the Dawns for Adeline. Now, it's not ideal, admittedly, so in fact I might want to go Shattered Sanctum into Darkslick Shores. No, it's definitely Raffine. That's a mistake. Ignore that bit. So, Raffine's Tower into Darkslick Shores, 100% the correct play, so that I can play Thalia. It's the turn 3 you want to be worried about. Yeah, we'll play the Thalia out. Gain a life. Are they going to attack? They are not. Couple of interesting options here. I think it's definitely Thalia going in. They're not going to do much. Down to 19. I'll play the... Yeah, I'll play Darkslick Shores. Can't play the Adeline because I've only got 1 white mana, but I can play it next turn, not a problem. This is definitely that Golgari deck I've seen do the rounds. There's Unctus. Interesting. Let's play the Adeline. They've definitely got a response. Go for the throat's definitely in their hand, right? That's got to be a go for the throat. Tyvar's Stand. Interesting. Looks like our opponent might not have the 4th land, which, if they don't, is really good for us. Because it means they can't play Phyrexian Obliterator. And I don't really have a great way of dealing with Phyrexian Obliterator. Alright, there's a Seachrome Coast. I'll play the Unctus. Definitely looks like our opponent could have responded to that. We'll attack with everything. Draw a card, discard a card. I will definitely get rid of that Dennick. Now, if they do have go for the throat, another Tyvar's Stand. Wow. Sure. There's Phyrexian Obliterator. There's... Okay. So I can play... I'll probably play out the Dennick, and I'll play out the Skrelv as well. I'm on 24, right? Or I could just play out Owl and put my opponent on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, that works. We'll choose not to attack here and end the turn. Next turn, I could play out Skrelv and Dennick Pious Apprentice. It's not called Pious Apprentice, it's called Pious Apparition. Bushwhack would be unfortunate, but I have 2 tokens to get rid. No blocks. Backup Fire Action Obliterator, that's not a problem. I'll play the Shattered Sanctum. Attack for 5 in the air, play out the Skrelv and the Pious Apprentice. And end the turn. Most my opponent can swing in for is 10. If I do end up, if they do a bushwhack, I'm just going to sack all my lands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Just trying to think about this. I am again going to not block. Now you might think that the answer is to put +2/+1/+1 cancel and everything. Well, I'm actually just going to look at the top 7. I will put a Raffine into play. Sacrifice 5 permanents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, I thought about this. Cool. Attack. Target Raffine. Discard the Dennick and the Raffine's Tower. Discard the Owl. Discard a card, the Seachrome Coast. And that is exactly lethal. I could have also attacked with everything, but I should have attacked with everything, actually. How many cards do I have left in my library? 40? Yeah, I should have just attacked with everything. But yeah, that felt really good. I think Golgari, there is a good Golgari deck out there. I don't think Golgari Fight is it. I tried playing it and it just wasn't working for me. But on to the next game. Okay, final game of the day. It's a slightly shorter video today because I need to go out. But if you are interested in this sort of thing like Esper Legends and you want me to do another video on it, why don't you click like on the video? It will tell me how much you love it and I will definitely consider doing a part 2. I'm very impressed with this deck. I'm going to keep this hand. So we can go Skrelv, Dennick, Adeline, and then draw some awesome things. Feel like a powerful wizard. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so far, so very good. Opponent down to 6. What things we love to see? It. Oh, if you use a cut down on this, that'd be amazing. Oh, yes. Because it means you don't have one for my Thalia that we just drew. Plaza of Heroes. Next turn, we'll play the Otawara, so we can play Adeline. Oh, it's not looking good for our opponent. That's not good for you. Gonna create this, put our opponent down to 17. Now, it is a bit of a nombo with our... Well, go for the throw, it's a bit of a nombo. Cut down, oh, it's too good. We'll play the Raffine's Tower. We'll play the Clever Conductor. Do some conniving, we'll discard the Dennick. We'll attack. Down to 11, we've got Go for the Throat. We've got Raffine. Our opponents finally found their 3rd land. Okay. We will do this. We'll play Thalia. We'll play Raffine. We'll attack with these. I will do it on this. I want to spread out the damage. Discard 3 cards. We'll discard the Dennick. We'll discard the Plaza of Heroes. We'll discard the Go for the Throat. For our opponent on 3. They're not giving up. Credit to them, they're not giving up. Put all my cards back into my hand. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not going to increase the suffering for my opponent. A rather unfortunate last game. But honestly, this deck's so good, man. This deck's so good. To the review. So this deck is unbelievable. Trust the Japanese to find an Esper Legends deck that can just completely crush the ladder. Combined with this and the Selesnya aggro deck we saw yesterday, you can definitely start climbing up. Yes, this is only Platinum 3 today, ended up in Platinum 2, but honestly, you can climb with this deck in Diamond and Mythic. There is no doubt in my mind about it. Even though this was built for best of 3, where the field is dominated by Grixis, I think you can definitely use this in best of 1. The nice little aggro package, Skrelv, Thalia, Dennick and Adeline created a beautiful opening curve, which caused our opponents all sorts of problems. Even though they're legends, I think 4 of them is absolutely correct because you want to see them, and you can discard the additional copies with Raffine. And given that we will be creating a lot of creatures, especially thanks to Adeline, Raffine will be drawing and discarding a lot. Speaking of discarding a lot, Toluz, I'm not sure if 3 is correct. Maybe you can go down to 2, but even so, discarding so many and the fact you can get them back when she dies, she has to die. If she's exiled, you don't get them back. So farewell kind of screws you there. It's just great. Like in that last game, it was Go for the Throated and bang, 4 cards magically appeared in my hand. It was awesome. The Raven Man is much better than I thought it was going to be honest. Even though we only saw it in 1 or 2 games, the fact that it was creating 1/1 birds that was feeding back into the Raffine like we knew would happen, but to see it happen in real time was amazing to see. Sheoldred, we gained so much life in that second game, I think it was, where we were at 42 at one point, I think. There's a reason why she's $50 a pop minimum, but in Arena, just 1 mythic wildcard. She's so good. Can't see her going out of the meta anytime soon. Unctus, not convinced. I think you can definitely replace Unctus with maybe another Raven Man, maybe another Sheoldred. I don't think this card is all that good. Go for the Throat 2 is correct. The non-bow with Thalia is quite sad, but you still want ways of dealing with Sheoldred, Phyrexian Obliterator. There are cards that you want Go for the Throat for. Although, I have seen decks forego Go for the Throat and instead play, because this is such a discard-heavy deck, Guardian of Nubnalia, which is an interesting addition as my browser decides it doesn't want to work. But yeah, Guardian of Nubnalia is definitely an interesting one because you can discard a card, and if you're discarding a card, you can activate the Raven Man and draw and create more birds, or get them back with Toluz. There's a lot you can do with this. So maybe if you were to replace the Unctus and 2 copies of Go for the Throat with, say, 3 Guardian, that is definitely something I've seen happen. Your mileage may vary on that. On top of all that fun stuff, Ertai Resurrected, 2 of is correct. He's not great in every matchup, but matchups where he is great, he is an absolute wizard. A Phyrexian human wizard, but he is a wizard. And of course, Al the Dawnsky. We didn't get to see much of him today. Not good, similar to Ertai, not good in every matchup, but if you're looking for evasion, obviously the flying and vigilance is really strong. If opponents find a way of killing Al, you can bring something back, similar to that Golgari fight we saw. And because he's got vigilance, Wandering Emperor can't target. Speaking of Wandering Emperor, my previous version of Esper Legends for Brothers War ran 1 copy. Unctus replaced Wandering Emperor, and I think Go for the Throat and Unctus, you can perhaps take these out. I can see Wandering Emperor not making a return to this deck anytime soon. There are no basic lands in this list, which isn't good if your opponent plays Field of Ruin, but no one's really playing that card at the moment outside of people copying CGB. Eiganjo and Otawara are still excellent in multiples, even though we didn't really see the channel abilities being used today, simply because we were just doing too much for our opponents. But yeah, if these are the correct numbers based on watching other people and doing a bit of testing myself, I'm happy with the list. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. If you want more ideas in terms of how to climb the ladder, this Selesnya aggro deck I was talking about might be able to scratch that itch. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye bye.